Just like the last movie had a perfect introduction for Batman, this movie has a perfect introduction for the Joker. Obviously, Heath Ledger as the Joker is the best part of the movie. So much so that Batman kind of takes a back seat in this movie. His performance is fantastic, and this Joker is the best out of all of them. I like pretty much every scene with him. He's creepy and most of all intimidating, which is really important for the Joker and for a villain in a crime thriller. I also like the reference to Batman 1989. Now, I mentioned this before, but I just love the scenes where Batman upgrades his suit. It's just really cool to me. Although Christian Bale's voice is kinda bad in this movie, and it only gets worse in the next movie. I know everyone knows that, but at times, it can be a bit distracting. Also, Rachel isn't really a good character. Her relationship with Bruce and Harvey isn't really done well, and Rachel on her own isn't really an interesting character. I just never really was interested in this narrative. I don't like this whole love triangle between Batman, Harvey, and Rachel. This just isn't interesting at all to me, and it could have been completely cut out of the movie. Also, Rachel, Bruce, and Harvey have very little chemistry with each other. I don't really care about their relationship because it just wasn't fleshed out that well. I also have a few issues with the plot. I get that the Joker is smart, but I think that his plans flow a bit too conveniently for him. I get that things are supposed to go his way for a while, but I think it's a little too much. Like, how did he know there was going to be a cop in his cell that he can piss off enough to attack him? What if he lost the fight? It's quite convenient that he won. Also, how did he know that the guy with the phone in his stomach was going to end up in the same prison as him? That was also pretty convenient. Also, I think that Harvey Dent's narrative wasn't handled very well. We don't get nearly enough time to flesh out this narrative. We're shown that Harvey is essentially a perfect human for most of the movie, and his transition to becoming evil feels a bit forced to me. We should have seen a more flawed version of Harvey before he turns evil, so that when he turns evil, it will feel more believable. I also don't think that Harvey will let the Joker go. He should have definitely killed him. Like, he'd rather kill crooked cops than the fucking Joker, the person that killed his lover. I think this movie would have been better if the Joker was the only villain in it. The choreography wasn't terrible, but I do think it's a bit worse than the last movie. The pacing was still pretty good for the most part. The story is always kept up with exciting moments. There's a lot of twists and turns that keep you excited to keep watching the movie. I also like the boat scene where the people on the boats have to decide whether or not they want to kill the people on the other boat to save themselves. And I thought it was really satisfying when the Joker realizes that they chose not to do it. It was pretty satisfying seeing the Joker's plan fail. Despite my problems with this movie, I still think this movie is pretty good. It has one of the best villain portrayals of all time, and some really iconic lines. All of the performances were solid, the story is exciting to follow, and it was a really solid movie. I don't like this movie as much as Batman Begins, but it's still a really good movie. 8 out of 10.